Welcome to lesson 12.6. We are solving rational equations and we're solving using proportions as well. So if we look at our first example here, remember a rational equation is an equation with the variable in the denominator. If we're solving our first example, 6 over x squared equals 5 over x minus 1. Remember our rules for adding and subtracting fractions or rational expressions. We have to have common denominator. So my first step is to make that common denominator. And I have x squared, x, and then I have 1. So our common denominator, or LCD, is going to be x squared. So I create each fraction with the denominator of x squared. And I'm left with 6 over x squared equals 5x minus over x squared minus x squared over x squared. And again, as we're adding or subtracting fractions, we can subtract our numerators and slide the denominator. So we are left with something that looks like this. Okay, now we have to solve. So in order to solve, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of those denominators. And I'm going to do that by multiplying both sides of the equation by that denominator. So I multiply both sides by x squared, and that actually cancels out our denominators on both sides. And we are left with a quadratic equation. We're left with the quadratic equation, 6 equals 5x minus x squared. So we can use our zero product property, remember, and rearrange our equation so it's set equal to 0. And if I add x squared and subtract 5x from both sides, I'm left with the quadratic equation x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. So we're going to solve by factoring. We're going to factor each side and set each equal to 0. So we factor that out and we're left with x minus 3 times x minus 2 equals 0. Setting each one equal to 0. And then solving for x, we get x equals 3 and 2. Now, it's important to understand that we do have to watch for any values that will make our original equation 0 in the denominator. So if you go back to the original equation here, and we can see, sorry, part of our original equation is gone. We can see here that any number that's going to make that denominator or that denominator 0 is going to be part of our extraneous solutions or not part of our solution set. So if x is 0, so we have to make sure we make a note that x cannot equal 0 at all. If x is equal to 0, then this whole situation becomes not possible, okay, because we can't divide by 0. So we have to remember that. Let's go ahead and try the next two quick checks. Work on finding your LCDs, and then once you get the answers, go ahead and restart the video. So in our first quick check, we have x equals negative 2. And again, x cannot equal 0 here, or that will cause us a problem. In our second, m cannot equal 0 as well. And we get our solutions to be m equals 1/2 and m equals 2. Once you've checked your work with those, go ahead and move on to the next example. So here we're looking at it like a work rate problem. And let's look at the problem. We've got Renee who can mow the lawn in 20 minutes, and Joanne can do the same job in 30. How long will it take them if they work together? So if you think about this, Renee can do 1/20th of the job each minute, and Joanne can do 1/30th of the job each minute. So the part of the job that Renee can do is n over 20, because we multiply our n is our time over the part of the job or her rate that she can do each minute. And then Joanne's is going to be n over 30. So we're left with a fraction. And if we want one whole job to be done, we've got n over 20 plus n over 30 equals 1. Now, there are multiple ways we can attack this problem. I'm just going to use that same find the common denominator, and my LCD is 60. Now, in this case, I'm going to multiply both sides by 60, and we see that over here. And we're left with then, after we add our numerators, 5n equals 60, and therefore n equals 12. Now, we don't have a variable in the denominator, so we really don't have any values that are going to give us an extraneous or no solution. So it's going to take the girls or the ladies working together 12 minutes. Go ahead and try the next example and start back the video when you have an answer. So Peggy and Peter can pick a bushel of apples in 28.5 minutes. Go ahead and check your work and mine and let me know if you have any questions. Next equations here we have, it's actually a proportion. We've got x plus 3 over x minus 1 equals 4 over x minus 1. Now, in this case, because both of our denominators are the same, if we multiply both sides by that common denominator, we're going to eliminate the fractions altogether. And we have an equation, okay? And we have a one-step equation which we solve. We get x plus 3 equals 4. Therefore, if we subtract 3 from both sides, we're left with x equals 1. Now, we have to go back to our original problem and ask ourselves, what value makes the denominator 0? If you look at this, if we had a 1 here, 1 minus 1 gives us 0. So therefore, x cannot equal 1. So if we get a solution of 1, we now have a no solution situation because there is no value that's going to make this true. Okay? So you have to always look at your denominator. A lot of times on standardized tests, if you'll see a problem, they will sometimes make a note like x cannot equal 1. So that you remember, hey, if x is 1, that can't be part of our answer set. Go ahead and try the next two quick checks and restart the video when you're ready. When we solve the equation, we get a equals -3. Our two values that a cannot equal would be 0 and 2, okay? So in this case, a is -3 is a great solution. In B, as we solve this, we get n equals -5 or n equals 4. And notice how I've checked those. You can plug those back into the problem to see if it works. You can also look at your denominators and make sure that the n does not equal -1 there, okay? In C, we get a no solution situation. Our variables cancel out and we get this 2 equals 0, which is completely not true. And so therefore it's a no solution. And we also know that we couldn't have 0 in our denominator here. With D, as you start to solve, you have a quadratic equation and you end up getting plus or minus 1. Now, the positive one is an extraneous solution because that's going to cause our denominator to be 0. But the -1 will work and we get that -2 for our denominator. So we're good there. So extraneous solutions are something to always be on the lookout for, and we'll talk more in class on that. Please let me know if you have any other questions through the post-video check. Thank you.